Why do you keep buying things you don't need? Not once, not twice. Every single week, standing in your own kitchen, holding a bag you don't remember deciding to buy. Stay with me, because the answer isn't the one you have been telling yourself. You have asked yourself this before, probably out loud, probably alone. Why do I keep doing this? What is wrong with me? Why can't I just stop? You open a drawer and find 3 of the same item you swore you needed. You check your bank app, and there is a charge you don't even remember choosing. Not a scam, just you, past you. A version of yourself that decided something in a moment present you can't even locate. Here is the question that actually matters, the one nobody ever asks you. Was that ever really about the item at all? Because if it was really about the item, you would remember wanting it. Instead, you remember the aftermath, the guilt, hiding the bag, quietly deciding not to mention it to anyone. That is not a shopping habit. That is a pattern running underneath your awareness, and it has been running longer than you think. Here is what is actually happening, and it has almost nothing to do with self-control.
Your brain doesn't run on logic under pressure. It runs on relief. Every day you absorb small hits, being ignored, being rushed, being talked over, being tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. None of it feels big enough to name, so it doesn't get processed. It just sits there, quietly, looking for an exit. A purchase is the fastest exit your brain has ever found. One click, immediate outcome. No waiting, no rejection, no possibility of no. In a day built out of things you couldn't control, a checkout button is the one thing that reliably says yes to you. This is why you don't remember deciding. You weren't deciding about the item. You were reacting to everything else, and the item just happened to be standing there when the reaction needed somewhere to go. Ask yourself honestly, how many things in your house exist not because you chose them, but because a moment needed to end? That number is higher than you think. And it was never about willpower. It was a brain trying to solve a feeling with the only tool that responds instantly. So hear this clearly, because it changes everything. You were never lazy. You were never careless. You were never bad with money in the way you have spent years telling yourself. You were a person absorbing pressure with nowhere for it to go, using the fastest relief available. That is not a character flaw. That is a nervous system doing exactly what nervous systems do when nothing else is offered to it.
But here is the part you can't hand off anymore. The real question was never, why do I keep buying things I don't need? It is, what am I actually trying to end when I do? Once you can name that, the purchase stops being automatic. It becomes a choice again, and choices can be redirected. Automatic reactions can't. Here is how you actually redirect it, without needing more discipline than you already have. First, catch the moment before the click. Ask yourself, out loud if you have to, what happened right before I opened this app? Not the item, the trigger. Half the compulsion dissolves the second you can name what you are actually reacting to. Second, build a 60-second exit that isn't a purchase. Step outside. Text one person. Do 10 push-ups. Something immediate that ends the moment the way a purchase would, without a receipt attached to it. Third, if you still want the item after sitting with the real trigger for a few minutes, get it. This was never about becoming someone who buys nothing. It is about knowing the difference between wanting an item and needing a moment to end. One more question to carry with you. The next time you catch yourself mid-checkout with no memory of deciding, what were you actually trying to escape? Sit with that before you answer it quickly.
Here is the truth underneath everything you just heard. You were never the problem. The pattern was. And patterns, unlike character flaws, can actually change because they were never about who you are. They were about what you were never taught to notice. Every unexplained purchase in your history wasn't proof you were bad with money. It was proof you were carrying something all day with nowhere to put it down. Now you know where it is actually coming from.
And the next time your hand reaches for checkout before your mind catches up, you get to ask the real question first. Comment, "I didn't decide that," if you have ever looked at a purchase and genuinely couldn't remember choosing it. I read every single one. And carry this one with you. What is the most expensive way you have ever tried to end a bad feeling? This is broke brain psychology. We don't sell motivation. We decode exactly this, the real reason behind the pattern, not the shame around it. Subscribe if you want yours decoded next. There is more coming.